Hello and welcome to another edition of the Mantis Q40 series. Today we're going to take a look at more advanced editing features. Things like finding text, cutting and pasting, and selecting. Some of this will be something that you use more and others less. You can actually do these same similar commands in the library area, like when you open books from Bookshare and things like that. But I did want to kind of make sure we covered these. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to turn on this light because I feel like, there's not enough. There we go. That's much better. All right, now that that's all taken care of, let's go ahead and turn the unit on. So as a review, we're going to hold in that power button for about 2 to 3 seconds until the Mantis vibrates slightly. It's going to say starting, and it's going to give you that lovely circling cursor there. And in a second, it's going to say editor. And I'm just keeping my finger there because I'm a-waiting. And there it is. So editor. So if you'll recall from last time, one of the ways we can open a file is when we open editor. We can either create or open a file. I'm just going to arrow down to open and press enter or a cursor routing key. It's going to give me some options. It says go to parent. I'm not sure where the file is, but I think I need to go to the parent folder. So I'm going to hit enter there. Now here's something that you may not be aware of. So if you are in scrolling the file area, the folders will have a full cell marking before the name of the folder so that you know it's a folder and not a file. So I'm going to come down here and I see I have documents as a file folder, and oops, there's nothing in here. So I'm going to come back, go to parent here. So I arrowed down until I found the file I was looking for that was called Amy. It was not in any of the folders. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter to open it, or I could press a cursor routing key. Either one will work. As you might remember, I wrote the first line of the Pledge of Allegiance. So I am not in edit mode at this moment because I haven't really asked it to be. Actually, I think I might be in edit mode. Let me see. Oh, yep, sure am. So how I know is what I did was I looked in the bottom here in the dots 7 and 8 area of my text, and I noticed that there is a lonely looking dot 8 hanging out down there. Under characters that are like actual characters, you will see the dot 8 represented as the cursor. If you move over to a space, you're going to see dots 7 and 8 represented. And I feel like I didn't make that clear in the last video, so that's my bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, I'm going to bring my cursor routing key to where it says, oops, where am I? Yep, to the beginning of the file here. And there we go. I pledge allegiance. So here we go. So now if I wanted to find the word flag, I could use a find command, just like Windows, where you would do a Control F, and then you would put your search term in there. And we have that lovely little open bracket, dots 7 and 8, and close bracket here where we would enter what we're looking for. So I'm going to type flag. And when you are done entering, you can go ahead and press your F3 to find any additional instances of the word after you press enter. So I'm going to go ahead and type enter. And here it is. It says I pledge allegiance. And here my cursor is right at the beginning here of the word flag. Now, if there were more instances of this word, which I know there are not, I could do that F3. Let's see. Function F1, F2, F3. So I'm going to move over. Edit beeps at me, and it's going to tell me that it's the end of, that we're at the end of the list. So that's one way to find text. You can do a Control F3, by the way, to go backwards if you have a list of multiple things to find. If I want to replace text, that's a very similar thing. So I'm going to do a Control H as in Howard. And here is, I get that prompt again, and it said find. Well, the last word I entered was flag. So I'm just going to leave that. And then I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to ask me what I would like to replace that text with. And I'm just going to type lamp, because that's the apparently best I can do. Okay, so after that, you're not going to press enter. You're going to press the next thumb key, and it's going to give you a couple choices. It's going to say replace all or just next. So you have those choices, or previous actually, or you can actually close from here, or if you need to, you can cycle back and change what you want to find, what you want to replace it with, and then press that, keep pressing that next thumb key and type in, decide whether you want to replace all, the next one, or the previous to find. And if you need to, you can just do that replace all. And it says, now I pledge allegiance to the, yep, sure it is, lamp. So if had there been more than one instance of the word flag in this file, we would have replaced all instances. Again, this is another thing that you're probably going to want to practice, just because it's one of those unfamiliar things. It's going to take a little practice getting through that dialog box. As you see, I had to think about it a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about cutting, copying, and pasting text. That's kind of important, but what we need to do really is we need to back up a little bit, because the first thing we need to do is we need to learn how to select, just like we do on a PC. We have to select our text before we can do anything with it, right? So I want to find what I want to select. So I'm going to find what I want here, and I can do a couple of different things, okay? So I'm going to find allegiance and place my cursor routing key on that A. There are two ways I can start the selection. The first way is to press F8. That starts the selection, and it also, by the way, stops the selection. So the other way is to do that, to open your context menu with a Control M, scroll down to edit, and then open that edit menu, and then enter that with a cursor routing key or an enter, and scroll down to select text and press enter or cursor routing key to activate it there. So if you can't remember that F8, you can go through that context menu like we talked about last time, but man, that's a lot of steps. If you do a lot of selecting and stuff, you're gonna want to get really familiar with where that F8 is. And so that you don't have to count, here I'm just gonna give you a little clue here. If you're at the top here, it doesn't really have much in the way of dividing the keys. But what it does have is, if you might remember that we talked about this, we have the F4 key that's labeled with an underline. And if you keep going, you'll have the F8 key that's labeled on the key with that tactile mark underline. So we're just going to hit F8 here. And my Braille display says selection started. So if I wanted to, this will mark the start of my selection. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go to where we want that end of that selection key to be. So I'm going to stick it at the end of the word allegiance, but you can put it anywhere you want, really. So, oops, end of the word allegiance, not in the space. So I can tell that that's there, and the cursor is blinking to kind of give me a little bit of a better cue on where that is for that ending selection. And if you look back to find out where your first beginning selection was, it is no longer there. So it's really important to remember where you started your selection. So then what we're going to do is, once we place it there, we're going to end our selection with an F8 again. And then it's going to say selection ended. So now when I read on that Braille display and look for the word allegiance, it is going to have some markings underneath it. They are all going to be, though, they're not going to be all like dots 7 and 8. They're just all going to be dot 8 underneath each one of those those characters. With the final one they entered, that's entered being the E on allegiance here. So now I can do what I need to with it. Just like with Windows, the commands cut, copy, and paste are exactly the same. To cut it would be Control X, which I'll go ahead and do now. So, and now it says cut on my Braille display. And when it disappeared, let's see, I pledge O to the flag. So allegiance is gone. And if you'll notice, my cursor is right here on this space that's right before the word to. So if I cut it, I can paste it if I want to again. So I'm going to do a Control V, and it says paste. I've pasted it back where I originally cut it from. Now that that item has been cut and pasted more than once, I'm going to navigate through here and find the end of my America here. And I'm going to press a cursor routing key to put it in the spin. Where is it? Looks like I stuck it. Oh, looks like I stuck it in my United, but all right. So I'm going to try again. There we go. Now it's at the end of America there. So now I'm going to do a Control V as in victory to paste it. And my Braille display will say pasted. And I'll give it a second to clear off. And here it is. The word allegiance has been pasted to the end of this file. It's, you know, United States of America allegiance. It actually, there's no space between those two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to route my cursor right to the capital, or right to the word allegiance, press a space, and now there is a space between those two words. When you are selecting, it might not be a bad idea to make sure that you select the space before the item that you're copying and pasting, but it's, you know, not strictly necessary if you're willing to do a little smithing in there. There's a lot of shortcut keys here that are really neat that I like. One of them is actually, it's called read mode. So what does read mode do? Read mode is great because if you are one to accidentally make changes to a file, you can enter read mode and you will be unable to edit while you're in that mode. That may be something that we talked about last time, I can't remember, but if I did, it's definitely worth repeating. Let's see, another thing I want to make sure we cover, auto scroll. Auto scroll is a good one. This one is also available in other apps as well. If you're in a longer file and editor, it's also available. What it does is it will allow you to automatically pan the text on the display. You start and stop it with, actually you start it with an Alt-G, and you start it with pretty much any key. So if I'm going to go to the top of this file here, the very top. Come on, here we go. I'm just going to place my cursor there. I could have gone to top of file, but really it's such a short file, I didn't really want to mess with it. So I'm going to do a Control plus the letter G. Think of it as, Alt plus G. Think of it as go. So I'm going to do an Alt-G. And, yep, it's scrolling my Braille display. And it's automatically panning it. Now, I can adjust that in the settings, how fast that advances. If you are a quick reader and you just hate going down to hit that thumb key and you want to make sure that everything just pops up for you, that's certainly a good option for you. If you're somebody that's a slower reader, maybe get that Braille speed to be more consistent before activating it. Alternatively, you could also use it as like a motivator, like, hey, my Braille display is going to advance. I don't have all the time in the world. I need to get my speed up. This is a good way to try that. So, I mean, there's a couple of different ways to use it, but it's really a neat feature. That pretty much covers everything in the editor, and anything that I may have missed is definitely available in the user guide. So I think that is more than enough information to shove at you for this lesson. So I hope that it has been helpful. Have a great day.